Hello. Today we will be doing your chapter number 19, and with this we are starting your unit number 3, which is democracy and equality. So the name of your chapter is Why Democracy. Democracy is the most popular form of government in the present day world. In almost all the countries, this setup has been adopted. Democracy has been derived from the Greek word and will divide it into two parts, demos and kratia. Demos mean people, kratia means administration. Thus, democracy is that form of government where the administration is held in the hand of people. Like in India, also we have democracy. So we choose our leader, right? We go for voting, we vote for a personal favorite party and our candidate, and then that candidate is chosen as the prime minister. So this democracy, it is actually the best. You can say that the power is in the hands of the people. Definition of democracy. So there are various definitions, but my favorite is the Abraham Lincoln one. The American president, here he gave the definition. He says, democracy is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Emergence of democracy in modern societies. Democracy originated in the Greek city of Athens. It was practiced 2,500 years ago, in which only the male citizens participated about 40 times a year. This was the People's Assembly, and it was direct democracy. All citizens except women, slaves, foreigners regularly played a part in decision making. Though direct democracy is the real form of democracy, but these days it is not practicable in big states having big population. Nowadays, in almost all the states, we find indirect democracy, also known as representative democracy. It is that form of democracy in which the citizens do not participate in the administrative administration directly, but through their representatives. Like when we go to vote, we don't become the part of the government. We don't take the decisions, right? But our representative does. So they elect their representative who makes laws and run the government on behalf of the people. The emergence of modern democracy is linked with Europe. The glorious revolution of England in 17th century and the French Revolution in 18th century greatly contributed to its development. The glorious revolution laid the foundation of the first democratic principle of the rule of law. What is rule of law? In democracy, the law is supreme and all people have to act according to the law. All are subject to laws and equal laws are applicable to everyone. There is no inequality. Everyone is equal in front of the law. No man is considered above law. Anybody who breaks the law is liable to be punished, and nobody can be punished if he has not broken the law. Prior to the Glorious Revolution, it was believed that kings' wishes were the rule of law. The people protected against this principle, and by dethroning their kings and by passing the Bill of Rights, they established the idea that the country shall be ruled by laws passed by the parliament. A century later, through the French Revolution, the people of France executed their king and established the rule of law. In fact, rule of law was the first important step towards the establishment of a democratic government. These great revolutions strengthened the roots of democracy by giving the idea of accountability and responsibility, which meant that government must be responsible of the electorate. That is, the people who had the right to vote. Initially, the right of vote was given to a limited number of wealthy and powerful people. The middle and the poor class had no representation in it. After a long struggle, the right to vote, also called franchisee, was gradually extended to all of them. But still, women did not enjoy this right. The struggle for the women's suffrage continued, and ultimately, they too got the right to vote. The right to vote given to every adult in the country is called UAF, Universal Adult Franchise. During 19th and 20th century, the idea of democracy further developed in new directions. It was felt that the right to equality established in democracy should not be restricted to the political field. It should be extended to the economic and social spheres also. Thus, democracy involves the following 4 steps: rule of law, principle of accountability and responsibility, UAF, political equality extended to economic equality. Now, there are different system of power existence in the world. So, this is the age of democracy. Still, we find non-democratic government in many states. A non-democratic government is called dictatorship, wherein force is the basis of authority. The citizens are not given the right and freedom to participate in the working of the government, and people cannot participate in the decision making and law making also. A dictatorship can be of army or that of a political party. It is called despotic government. Now, there are 2 types, monarchy and theocracy. What is monarchy? It's another form of government in some countries. It could be a constitutional monarchy in which the power of the monarch are defined by the constitution. For example, in UK, in an absolute monarchy where the ruling family, that is the monarch, has total control over a state. Now, theocracy is a system of government wherein religious leaders hold power. Members of the majority religion make up the government. Civil laws are made to conform to the religious teachings of the majority religion. Recently, some countries have combined the elements of theocracy and democracy. What are the different forms of democratic government? On the basis of relations between the executive and legislature, the democratic government can be of 2 kinds. That is parliamentary and presidential. What is parliamentary? It's a form of government in which the executive is responsible to the parliament for its work and exercise of authority and ministers. This form of government originated in England, and it exists in most of the countries, including India. What is presidential? In this kind of government, the executive is not appointed from the members of the legislature and is not responsible to the legislature. In this system, the head of the state enjoys all the power given to him and his ministers and his advisors. And his ministers are his advisors. In this system, the chief of the state is the real executive and actually exercises the powers which the constitution and laws confers upon. This form of government originated in America. A democratic government can be unitary or federal. Till 18th century, the government used to be unitary. The first federal government was established in USA when 13 independent states formed a union and gave birth to a new state. When all the powers were legally enjoyed by the central government and the provincial government are completely under the central government, this system is called unitary government. When the powers are divided between the central and the state and both work independently of each other, one cannot interfere in the working of the other. It is called federal government. Now, this is what India has adopted. But it has the elements of unitary government also to face emergency. Now, what are the chief features of unitary government? Concentration of power. Here, all the powers are concentrated in the central government. Provincial government enjoys only those power and authority which are given to them by the central government. So, main is central government. These powers can be withdrawn by the central government at its will. Single administration, there is only single administration. Provinces and local bodies do not have their separate legislatures. There is only one set of government servants who are under the central government and they carry out the administration throughout the state. There is single judiciary for the whole country. Single citizenship. People are given single citizenship. There cannot be a separate citizenship of the provinces on the residents in their area. What about nature of constitution? It can be rigid or flexible, written or unwritten. There is no need of a written or rigid constitution. Now, what about the main features of federal government? So first, we'll talk about the same point, distribution of power. Power of national importance are given to the central government, while those relating to the regional or local importance are given to the state. Both exercise their representative powers independently. Written and rigid constitution, there has to be written or rigid constitution. The constitution should be rigid so that one may not amend it for its own benefit. Supremacy of the constitution. The constitution is the supreme law of the state and no authority is allowed to act contrary to the constitution. Independent judiciary. In the federation, there is an independent, impartial and powerful judiciary. This organ is given superiority over the other two organs of the government. It is vested with the power of judicial review. Bicameral legislature. All over the world, there are two chambers of parliament. Even in England, where there is unitary government, there are two chambers. The lower house represents the people and the upper house represents the unit. Dual citizenship. In federal government, there is a provision of dual citizenship, but it is not essential. In USA, dual citizenship is available, but in India, there is no provision of dual citizenship. What is the significance of element of democracy? Formal equality. Equality is a pillar of democracy. The main thing, equality should be there among each and every person. Nature has made all men equal, and this is the base of democracy. No discrimination is made on the basis of caste, color, creed, or birth. Only merit is given importance. All are equal in the eyes of law, and the same laws apply to all the people. All are given equal opportunities to hold public offices, and nobody is given special treatment. Liberty. Liberty is another pillar. Without liberty, man cannot take his fullest development. Freedom of thought and expression, freedom to form association and criticize the government, and freedom of press are enjoyed by the citizens only in democracy. These freedoms are essential for self-expression and development. Third, popular participation. It is the foundation of democratic setup. Without it, democracy can neither be real or truthful. Population participation means participation of the people in running the government, in the activities of the state. Adult franchise is the most popular form of the popular participation. Decision-making mechanism. In a democracy, there is a definite decision-making mechanism which is in the hands of people. People elect their representative, who that particular representative only form the legislature or parliament, which passes various bills and makes laws according to which the country is governed. The majority part or parties in the parliament form the government. If any government fails to serve their people, it can be changed in the next election. Accommodation of difference. In a democracy, nothing can be imposed on the people. The elected representative of the people can express their differences freely. The spirit of give and take and the spirit of accommodation makes the democracy popular in the world. Democracy is based on tolerance and accommodation. Otherwise, it is likely to become a majority dictatorship. Differences between the ruling party and the opposition are settled amicably. Last, enhancing human dignity. It is only in a democracy that liberty, equality, and fraternity can be ensured. Not only political liberty is ensured, but all efforts are made to ensure economic liberty as well. In our country, equality in all spheres, that is civil, social, political, economic, has been assured to all the citizens. Social equality has been established by banning untouchability. छुआछूत जो पहले बहुत चलता था. Economic equality is assured to the people by banning all kind of exploitation of weaker sections of the society. Steps have been taken by the Indian government for the welfare of SC, STs and OBCs. Adequate arrangements have been made for their representation in Lok Sabha and state assemblies through popular laws. Reservation in services, education, etc. has been made for such castes and tribes. So, what happens? So that they can enhance their social status and dignity in the society. This is all about this chapter. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood and enjoyed the class. Thank you.